Okay, so it's February 20th. Golden State's coming into town to play Charlotte. And these two teams are squaring off. Steph Curry's out. Should be a good game. Fast forward with me to the fourth quarter. Golden State's up by 2 with the ball with 20 seconds left. Game should be over. There's a bad call. Draymond Green loses his mind. And he gets 2 technical fouls, gets ejected from the game. Those 2 technical fouls turn into free throws for the other team and possession of the ball. You know where this is going. Golden State didn't just lose their lead, they lost the game. Because their star player who was in at the time couldn't keep his temper. He lost perspective on who his opponent was. And I want to talk a little bit about that story with you from Psalm chapter 64. So I'm going to read a few verses here. Psalm 64 is a lament psalm written by David. And we are going to go through this real quick, but he is in a tough situation. People are not doing the right thing to him or for him, and people are seeking evil against him. And David has 2 options. He's king. He could do something about it himself, or he could run to the Lord about it. Let's see how he handles it. Psalm 64. Verse 2 says, "Hide me from the secret plots of the wicked, from the throngs of evildoers." He is in a tough spot. Like I said, these people are doing some pretty bad things to him. They've got plans for his destruction. And then again in verse 5 it says, "They hold fast to their evil purpose. They talk of laying snares secretly." They're trying to get David to mess up so that he can lose his kingship or his life. And David could respond with evil. He could fight evil with evil, or he can let revenge be for the Lord. And if you look in Leviticus chapter 19, we're told a little bit about what that looks like. Leviticus 19:18 says, "You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the sons of your own people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord." And as you saw in Draymond Green's situation in the Golden State Warriors versus Charlotte Hornets ball game, Draymond lost perspective. He was playing Charlotte, but he let the officials become his opponent. He disagreed with the call, he lost his temper, and he chose to fight evil with evil. 2 negatives don't make a positive. Draymond got 2 technical fouls, and his team lost the game because he was more focused on being right in that situation and defeating the wrong that was done to him rather than doing the next right thing. And it got him in trouble. They lost the game. And I know that you guys have faced some tough things in your life. My wife and I are in a spot right now where there's some injustice going on that we're pretty upset about, that we're trying to fight. And we have to constantly remind ourselves that that's not our battle to fight. Our job is to love people. Revenge is for the Lord. He will see justice through because our God is a great God and a good God and a just God. That's not our job to determine what is just and what isn't. It's our job to be obedient to Him and to love people. And so that's what I'm going to leave you with. In John chapter 13, Jesus gives a big new command to His disciples right before His death. And it says, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also are to love one another." Jesus gave them this new commandment that they were super excited to hear, and then it was one that they'd heard their entire lives: love one another. Until He said, "Just as I have loved you." See, Jesus loved in a selfless and a sacrificial way, and He was about to display that by giving His life for them, but also for us. And that, as we see in verse 35, is the definition or the way that people see that we're believers when He says, "By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." And so, revenge is not ours to offer. We don't get to see that through. And when we do, many of you can probably relate, when you do get revenge on someone out of hatred, you don't feel right inside, do you? You don't feel that justice, and that's because it's not for you. That revenge is for the Lord. And we see that at the end of chapter 64, where David writes in verse 7, "But God shoots His arrow at them. They are wounded suddenly. They are brought to ruin with their own tongues turned against them. All who see them will wag their heads. Then all mankind fears. They tell what God has brought about and ponder what He has done. Let the righteous one rejoice in the Lord and take refuge in Him. Let all the upright in heart exult. Guys, our job is to win. Just like Golden State's job in that ball game was to win, it's our job to win people to the Lord. And when we choose to take revenge into our own hands, it's kind of like a ball player choosing to take officiating or justice in a ball game into his own hands. It got him in trouble and it cost his team the game. Guys, it's our opportunity and our responsibility to let God take care of revenge, and it's our job to take care of just loving people well. So that's what I have from Psalm 64. I hope that this challenges and encourages you as you go about your day and the rest of your week.